Thank you and welcome at the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. This is a project that was started officially back in the year 1977 after the death of David Sheldrick, who was a naturalist and the senior founder warden of the Lifesaver National Park. He died in 1977. This project was started in his memory under the management of the widow, who is now the late Dr. Daphne Sheldrick, who's been running the project since then, until about 4 years ago, when she passed on, leaving the mandate to her daughter, Angela Sheldrick. We are taking care of orphan baby elephants and orphan baby rhinos, and later on reintroducing them back into the wild. And so that is the reason to why we have to come in so that we can help rescue them and rear them here in the nursery for approximately 3 years. At any time between the age of 3 and 4, we start to reintroduce all the elephants back into the wild. We necessarily don't take them where we found them, but we'll always reintroduce them to Tsavo East National Park and Kibwezi Forest. The process of reintroducing them is done gradually. Generally, different reasons, of course, all these babies to be left orphans, and human-wildlife conflict is the first major reason that has caused most of them to be left orphans. Human-wildlife conflict is a big problem in our country. This is a problem because there is always an increase in the population of human beings compared to the space or size of land. And this has caused human beings to occupy areas that belong to wild animals. And that is why areas where these animals have known originally to browse and look for water have been occupied by people. Migratory routes of wild animals no longer exist. They've been occupied by farmers, and people are doing farming, building structures, and doing lots of developments in these areas. And that is why if these animals want to migrate from an area to another, they will find it very difficult because they will encounter the crops and the structures, and the owners of these crops and structures will want to fight them. In the process of the fight, most likely the babies will suffer most, since the mothers might end up being killed and the babies left alone at an age where they would not have survived without the mother's milk and also without protection. Or the baby and the mother will be separated from one another in the course of the fight, and nobody knows where the other one went. So later on, if the baby is identified and is still alive and nobody knows where the mother is, then we are conducted and have to fly out immediately to go and help rescue them from wherever part of the country that they will have been identified. And that is why human-wildlife conflict is the first major reason that has caused most of these babies to be left orphans. Patrolling along the conservation areas. In case that any illegality is taking place within these areas, then our area of surveillance will be able to notify the Kenya Wildlife Service Rangers with our teams on the ground who will make a follow-up, find out what is happening, and help correct the situation. And lastly, we do have a community project. And this community project is based within Tsavo Conservation Area. They will go around the communities that are neighboring the park and the reserve, giving them education on how to coexist and stay together peacefully, neighboring one another with these wild animals. It is important for the communities neighboring the parks to know what to do, whom to conduct, how to beat them, in case they encounter these animals in the farms, so that there are no conflicts between the two every now and then. The same community project will go around the schools that are neighboring the park and the reserve and giving education to the children. When the children are still young in school, they need to learn that all animals are important and all animals have the right to life. And these animals should not be killed just because somebody is interested in their ivory, in their skin, or in the meat. The areas where all these animals stay should be protected, which means people should stop cutting trees and instead should plant more to preserve all our forests and make sure that all other animals have got a place to feed and hide. We believe when the children are taught this when they're still young in school, they will be able to keep it in their minds. And when they're fully grown, they will help make good use of this knowledge by ensuring that they help protect and care for all other animals. Down on the ground, getting out of the water hole at the end is Olorian, 2.5 years. And Olorian was rescued from the Maasai. She was identified all alone within the park without the rest of the family members, and nobody knows where the mother was. And that's why we rescued Olorian at 6 months. Rescued from Meru region. believed to have been separated from our family by human beings right now approximately 3 years. And lastly, the one taking water on my left from the water trough is an elephant by the name Lodo, who was rescued from Laikipia, Loisaba Ranch, and a victim of human-wildlife conflict. Generally, elephants will live as long as we do. Approximately 60 to 70 years is their lifespan. And this lifespan of an elephant depends on the nature of their teeth. They have got 6 sets of teeth, and every set will last for about 10 years. That's why any time between the age of 60 and 70 or the teeth are worn out, they will die from starvation, which is a natural death. Elephants will attain maturity while at the age of between 10 to 15 years, starting with the females. The gestation period of an elephant is approximately 2 years, exactly 22 to 24 months. They'll always stay in groups and families under the leadership of the oldest female, who by natural instinct automatically become the leader or the matriarch of the group. The boys will leave the families after maturity, which is about 15 years. And when the boys leave the families, they want to go and join a bachelor hut somewhere else. And so lastly, I'll talk about how you can help support the project. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust does not have any special funding. We entirely rely on all the visitors or people who are coming in to see the baby elephants. And so you can help support if you want, and there are different ways you can help do that. One of the ways is by sponsoring or adopting an elephant in the nursery. To adopt an elephant, you pay a minimum fee of $50 a year, or 5,000 Kenya shillings a year. And once you pay in this fee, you will have help to save the life of an elephant that would have died back into the wild. And once you pay in this fee, we will give you a certificate in the name of the elephant that you will have adopted. You'll also get a special watercolor painting, which is done by Angela Sheldrick. You'll also get a picture and profile of your elephant, including our newsletter. Then you'll fill in a form giving us your details, plus your email address, so that every month we update you and let you know how your elephant is doing, plus all the others that we've got in the nursery. If you adopt an elephant, we also update you in the keeper's diary, which is written every day by the keepers, different keepers, telling different stories from different orphans. And all that will be brought to you on a monthly basis online. You can adopt an elephant for yourself, or you can do it as a gift for a friend. If you do it as a gift, it is a gift recipient that will receive the updates every month. But if you do it for yourself, it's you that will receive the updates every month. Until after 1 year, we will let you know so that you can decide if you want to renew it again or not. That is why it is important that after you've seen all the babies that have come before you, you make a choice of which one that you want to help support. And on your way out, we do have the forms for you to fill in, so that you can get a certificate in the name of your elephant and walk back home a very lucky parent to a baby elephant.